Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Ian and this is Copper.gravity. You're watching YouTube and I'm building my 9th rolling ball sculpture. I absolutely love doing these. I've been doing them for about 4 years and I film myself doing it so that you don't have to build one, you can just kind of enjoy me doing it. And one of the things I always do is I never really design the whole process from start to finish. I kind of think on the day, what am I going to do and how's it going to go, and I might have a rough idea of where the balls are going to end up, but as this video here will show you, I don't always get it right. I don't always know how it's going to end up, but I'm going to film it and I'm going to take you along with me on the way. Now this video has taken weeks and weeks and weeks from start to finish, and that's because I got a bit distracted with life and other things happened. I've got a brand new job that I'm enjoying and lots of things are going on. So yeah, I'm just looking back at this footage now thinking, gosh, this was such a long time ago. Anyway, this is RBS9, my 9th rolling ball sculpture. It's episode 12. There's probably only one more episode left to come. And in total on YouTube, this is my 98th copper wire rolling ball sculpture video. So congratulations to me. You found yourself in a nice place. Put your feet up and enjoy the rest of the episode. Obviously the very clever people among you will have worked out that I have been making the bowl with a hole. That's right, there's a hole in my bowl. Now I'm going to put it on here, and that means I've got to do a bit of soldering to this. I've got to do an out track and maybe an in track, and I've also got to join the two downward tracks together. I've got a little bit of copper plate left from a previous piece of work, so that might become a Y. So let's design what I'm doing and carry on. First thing I did is I got a couple of nice lengths of copper wire and got my little support table out that I often use for soldering and the flame soldering kit, and then soldered those two little pieces of copper onto the bottom of the bowl. Then in goes the track spacers. And a good old polish up. Then moment of truth. Have I got all the angles right and the bends right, and does the ball actually go down the hole and come out on the track? Yes, it does. Now I wanted to know how to get the balls in, and I thought I might attach a top piece of track, or I might just push them in and see how it goes. So this is me kind of experimenting. Is it good enough to go without a permanent fixed piece of track at the top? And yeah, I think it was. Then I selected exactly where I wanted it, and I thought I could have 3 supports coming off the bowl, you know, in a nice kind of pattern. And then I just got really fussy and thought, no, if I'm doing 3 supports, it needs to be exactly 120 degrees apart each. So I got the protractor out and measured that, and then soldered on these 3 lovely supports to mount the bowl in the right place. Once again using the flame solder there because it's such a large piece of copper. Then I trimmed off some wires and joined the bottom of the bowl onto the infeed chute and soldered the upright supports to the bowl. So now I had quite an alien looking bowl in the right place, And of course it's time to test and watch the balls go down the hole. Okay, now I've got the bowl in place, it's time to link the tracks to the bowl. So I started with this one here, and I thought I'd go all the way around there, all the way around there, and come in at the back. So in order to work that out, I got some cardboard, drew on the constraints in red, and then started to sketch out in pencil, and then a slightly thicker pen, and then an even thicker pen, just making the curves by hand and by eye just how I wanted them. This bit of this bit of bending is really good. Just really liked how this one worked first time, using the bending jig and just increasing the bends where necessary, little bit by little bit by little bit, until I got the perfect shape. Each side of the tracks has to be slightly different diameters, because obviously it's a slightly different radius that you're bending round. And again, this is all done by eye and feel and experience. Absolutely love doing this part of the job. Again, the cardboard template is just a really nice method of making sure that it's going to fit when it's made. And then I added the track spacers, and I've got this lovely, lovely piece of track. But somehow a couple of weeks of life have gone by and I've hardly done anything. But what I have done is I have attached that last piece of copper onto the sculpture, and it now comes around and the balls feed into the copper bowl. So that's one track done. So I'm not going to show you right now because I'm going to make you stay to the end, but now I'm going to do something with the second piece of track. So I've got this circular piece of track left. I think it's the last bit of track I can use, and it just about wriggled around the upright spiral lift. So now I've got this wonderful circle, and I just needed to attach the top to the bottom. So first of all, I made a lovely little circle, and the balls went through that, and then I got these semicircular ends to a piece of track, held it in place, did a bit of testing, looked at it from all angles, and then decided, yeah, I can solder that on. And once I soldered it on, it worked. Well, it's a day or so later, and I have managed to get this in, and it's really, really looking good. I love the way that the spiral lift goes the opposite way through this spiral downward 360 track. This is a really nice feature where the balls come through, and it's working really well, and I've added in all these supports so everything is nice and strong and sturdy, and it's all very good and reliable. But the reason it took me a couple of days is I've been struggling to give up on one of my kind of ideas for this piece, and that is that both of the downward tracks were, in my mind, hoping to land in the bowl, and we'd have a whole bunch of balls going round and round in there forever. But there was just too many tracks in the way, like this one here for example, that I couldn't get from here into the bowl without having to come underneath, and so therefore the vertical height was going to be a problem. You can see here the vertical height that I'm on about is where the balls are currently coming out, and it's already lower than the lip of the bowl. So for me to get the ball to go round, turn the corner and go uphill and go into the bowl, I just don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to do something else. I'm probably just going to do a little loop-the-loop, or maybe a zigzag, or some other feature I haven't quite thought of yet, and I'll pop the balls into this part of the track here so that they go down and add into the lift queue. So there's a lot of compromise going on, but that's what happens when you don't really design things fully from the beginning and you're just happy to kind of go with the flow and see what emerges. And I'm really happy that's what's going to happen, because actually the overall scheme of the whole sculpture is there is a great big gap here, and if I didn't fill it with copper, it is going to look a bit empty. So to balance things up, yeah, it's going to be really good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to now doing that piece of track and getting it into there.